I love my neighbors. Another one of my neighbors, kind of up the street a little ways. He has 20 acres and he had the pine beetles go through his property just like they went through mine, killed off a bunch of trees. He doesn't need this much for firewood, so he asked me if I wanted them. I'm gonna take them. Why not? I think I have more trees and more logs now than I can mill out all winter long. So I think I'm pretty well set. I still gotta find a way to get the logs off the trailer. But I think I'm just gonna stack those right there next to those longer logs. They're kind of out of the way. We can always move them later, I guess. I got a request in the comments a few videos back asking for like a walk around of the property. I'm guessing where the house and the garage and everything's kind of sitting, just to see what it kind of looks like. I don't typically show like a whole view, and I don't have a drone to go up in the air and show you an aerial view of where things are sitting. So I will try to walk around the best I can, get a good vantage point and show you where things are sitting, what's going to be permanent, what's going to be moved, and what I'm thinking about putting in different places. Top of the driveway is probably the best place to start. That's where you enter the property. Got the circle driveway right here. You're going to come down. You're going to stay to the right, just because the way we park is at a slight angle when we get down to the house. So circle drive kind of comes down and goes around. The house is straight back. The shop build off the left over here. The Prowler trailer, that's going to go. It's our storage right now. We have a whole bunch of stuff in there that we had in the house Connex box, the other Connex box we had over there, or shipping container. So we've got what wouldn't fit in the house, or we didn't want to put in the house at the time, went in the Prowler trailer and we parked it there for the winter. Next spring, that's going to get emptied out because we'll have room in the shop to store stuff, so that trailer can leave. And then we'll have, as you come down the driveway, you'll be able to see the house and the garage or the shop, and you won't have a big eyesore in front of you right there. This side of the property over here, this is pretty well emptied out. Had a lot of stuff on the ground, a lot of dead trees. About the only thing that's left over here is a bunch of oak trees and a few pine trees. Everything else over here is either logs I'm going to mill out or firewood to process, burn piles to burn. That's about it. Not much over here. This is part of the fenced in area that the dogs can run. The dogs have a fenced in area right now of 3.5 acres that goes all the way past the house, past the dog house obviously, greenhouse, shop, all the way around. They can run all that area. So as you're coming down the driveway, you come down the right side of the driveway like you're supposed to. At least in this country, you drive on the right side of the road. Come up on your first gate, which it's one of the gates that goes into this 3.5 acre fenced in area. That's where the El Camino sits for now. Pump house and the well right there in front of it. The well is 450 foot deep. The pump house just has the pump controls and the pressure tank in it, along with some on-off valves to shut the water off in case we need to. Nothing special. Nice bullhead hanging on the front of it, just for decoration. Also back behind the house is a cell booster tower. That is so we can get a little bit better cell reception. Our cell reception is very spotty out here. If you don't have a booster, you're probably not going to get too much cell reception. Moving on from the house, next thing you see is a woodshed. I did build the woodshed to be a permanent fixture, but the longer I live here, the more things I move around. I'm thinking the woodshed is going to get torn down. I was going to put board and batten up around it. I have it all milled out and ready to go. But I think that woodshed is going to get torn down. That woodshed holds about 5.5 cords of wood. I'm going to build a little bit smaller woodshed, at least the roof will be shorter. On the north side of the house over there, it holds about 4 cords of wood. It'll be easier to get wood in and out of, along with splitting it. Having the woodshed right here is kind of a pain. The wood splitter can't be right in front of it, and then when you're going to dump wood to split on the wood splitter, you can't get it right to the door. So down there I'll have a little bit more access, and coming out of the house straight out the back door to go to the woodshed is gonna be a little bit easier than trying to climb up this little embankment right here. Even after I get it terraced off and have steps in it, it'll be easier to just go out the back door. Coming through this gate. So that gate is how you're gonna come into the shop, get to the shop. The shop is 36 by 48, for those of you that have just joined the channel. Seems to be a lot of new subscribers lately. Thank you very much, I do appreciate it. So the shop is 36 by 48, 16-foot walls. It's gonna have plenty of storage in it. That is permanent. The shipping container is not. The shipping container is where I have all my tools stored right now. Tools and garage storage stuff. That's what's in that Connex box. But it is not permanent, it's not gonna stay there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to get in the door of the shop, which is right here, 15 feet away. As you go past the shop and the Connex box, you get to where the sawmill is, the sawmill and the greenhouse. The greenhouse hasn't been much of a greenhouse. We built that last spring with all good intentions of having a garden in it and everything, but then my kids brought little chicks home and we didn't have any place to put chickens, so the chickens stayed in the greenhouse last winter, and we never got around to putting grow beds in it, or at least filling the grow beds that we have in it with good soil so we could have a garden. So the greenhouse is just kind of set stagnant there. The sawmill is basically a permanent fixture right there, at least for now. It used to be where that little trailer is, but I moved it out here so I could get better access with logs. Now the greenhouse, that's gonna get redone. I'm gonna make a geothermal greenhouse in the future. And the more I think about it, the more I wanna do it on the other side of the property where there's nothing over there right now. Reason for that is my sawmill's here. I could put a gate and the fence over there, and when I drag logs in with the backhoe or skid them in, I can bring them right here. The greenhouse structure that's here right now, I could make into a lean-to for the sawmill. It's plenty big, it's 16 by 32, so I'd have to redesign the basic structure of it a little bit, maybe rebuild part of it, but it would keep my sawmill out of the sun and out of the snow and all that. I'm thinking that's what's gonna happen with the greenhouse. This will get changed into a lean-to. The greenhouse, the geothermal greenhouse we're gonna build next spring, is gonna go on the other side of the property, the other side of that fence. Right past the sawmill and the greenhouse is a doghouse chicken coop build. That's down there. That's half, well, 2/3 doghouse, 1/3 chicken coop. I'll take you down there and show you that. And I've got a couple videos out on it, making it, but I'll go ahead and show you guys. Now that is a special couch for my dog, because my dog does not like to do too much during the day other than sleep. And I was talked into leaving the couch there for her to sleep on. My opinion is kind of an eyesore, but I don't know. The dog seems to like it. Even in the wintertime, covered in snow, she'll be up there sleeping on it. Now the left side is the doghouse, the right side is the chicken coop. Dog food bowl, plenty of little pillows for them to sleep on. Keeps them off the hard, cold floor. Come around the corner to another window. And then on the other side, we've got a chicken coop. And that kind of brings us back around to the house. South-facing part of the house, the front of the house, if you will. Everything on the property we've built. We didn't buy anything for the property. We didn't buy the property with anything on it. It didn't have a well, it didn't have power, nothing like that. So it's all handmade by us. We do have this studio here. I did build that too, a little 1-bedroom kind of thing. Right now it's got my massage table set up in it. It's where my wife is lucky enough to get a massage once or twice a week, depending on how busy we get. I built it about 6 years ago. Got a little mini split in it, keep it nice and cool in the summer and warm in the winter. So if you've been following along since we first moved up here, this trailer, along with that Prowler trailer that's sitting out there full of storage right now, these two trailers were kind of scabbed together with a room in between them with a wood burning stove in it. And that's what we lived in when we first moved up here while we were building the house. Wasn't the best thing, wasn't the coziest thing. Matter of fact, it got downright cold. But it worked. It got us through a winter and a half until we moved into the house. There's plenty more to do around here, guys. The house is not done. If there's something more you want to see, you want a video on the El Camino, what I've done to the El Camino, more specifics about it, put it down in the comment section. Let me know. If you want to walk through on the house, well, let's wait a little while on that. It's kind of dirty inside and not really finished. We are living in it, and we almost have it signed off as occupancy. I think we have 4 or 5 more things to get signed off on, get them done. But we will get a walkthrough on the house here as soon as we get the house cleaned up and get the shop built, storage put in the shop, so the house looks nicer when we walk through it. Until next time, guys, go make something.